Hello everyone, welcome to video number 6. So the name of this video is online English teaching better than face-to-face learning? So we'll be discussing this topic today. So as you may imagine, many teachers still believe that online teaching is actually inferior. Others believe that face-to-face classrooms are becoming obsolete. Okay, so this is the central controversy here. So who is right? Okay, although we have different views about online and regarding online teaching or face-to-face teaching, we'll explore today whether or not these two modalities are different or maybe similar. Let's see. So as you can have a look at this now, as seen here, after the pandemic, of course, education changed forever. Okay, and one comfortable question remained. Do students actually learn better in physical classrooms? The evidence may surprise us. Let's have a look at this now. Here we have the differences, right, between face-to-face teaching and what this might involve, and then also online classes and what this modality can offer. So on the one hand, face-to-face teaching, of course, offers, as you can see here, human interaction. Of course, you can interact with other students, with other people. There's classroom presence, of course, and there is spontaneous communication. On the other hand, then online classes offer personalized feedback, personalized teaching, flexibility, instant access to resources, and then, of course, multimodal learning. So you've got more access to different semiotic signs and clues. Now, so maybe the real question here is not which modality is better, but under what conditions learning actually happens. Let's have a look at this. This is a research study a colleague of mine and I carried out back in 2022. Okay, so this study is called Perceptions Regarding the Transition from face-to-face to online full modality. In this study, we found out that teachers transitioning from face-to-face to online English instruction experience, of course, major pedagogical changes, not only because of the methodology, but also because of the platforms they would be using. So the study suggests something very important, some important aspects that I would like to share with you today. Firstly, online teaching itself is not inherently ineffective. Its effectiveness depends on these aspects. Okay, firstly, it depends on teacher preparation, methodological adaptation, how you adopt your common ordinary face-to-face modality to face-to-face to online or remote teaching, student engagement, okay, interaction quality, and also the pedagogical use of digital tools, how you use pedagogical tools um, in order to foster and enhance your practices in the classroom. So this is the main rationale behind online and the transition between face-to-face to online modality. So a powerful idea here is, and this is what I want you to remember and grasp from this video. One thing is the platform, and another thing is the methodology. Zoom is not pedagogy. Teams is not pedagogy. Kahoot is not pedagogy either. They are only tools. Okay, so remember that these are only tools to help you teach and motivate students. A bad teacher, as you can imagine, with technology is still a bad teacher. A creative teacher can transform even a simple online session into a meaningful learning experience. Considering this, then, let's have a look at the benefits of online teaching and how online teaching can actually work. Okay, so firstly, okay, through online teaching, you can have and you can offer personalized learning. Online classes can be highly individualized. Teachers can adapt pacing, provide personalized feedback. You can use the breakout rooms to foster interaction, peer work, and you can share resources instantly, unlike face-to-face modality. So in the breakout rooms, you can share resources. And for many students, online environments reduce speaking anxiety instead of face-to-face modality. A second aspect, the chat becomes a literary tool. So you can encourage the students, and this is very interesting. In online classes, the chat is not just communication. It can become writing practice, vocabulary reinforcement. You can elicit from the students terms, answers, so everybody can get involved. You can encourage grammar noticing. You can get the information to analyze participation support. And students who never speak in class often participate through writing online. Then later on, if you are autonomous teacher, autonomous learner, you can collect and retrieve all the information and evaluate, assess. You can have ChatGPT analyze that corpus and get examples, more examples, categorize the most frequent mistakes, and so on and so forth. And then you can, of course, give feedback to all your students in your face-to-face sessions or in your upcoming live session. So a third aspect that is relevant when it comes to online modality is the instant access to multimodal resources. Teachers can immediately integrate videos, collaborative documents, quizzes, pronunciation tools, real-world materials, and these can enrich, for sure, this can certainly enrich exposure and engagement in your classes. Now, online environments can promote autonomy, okay? How can you do this? Well, students learn to organize themselves. They can search for information. They can manage digital resources. They can participate independently. And these would be the main aspects behind online teaching. Now, why face-to-face still matters? Okay. Well, human presence matters. Okay, face-to-face teaching offers for sure eye contact, body language, spontaneous interaction, emotional immediacy, and these elements are difficult to fully replicate online, okay, as you can imagine. So, attention and discipline, especially in schools, online learning becomes controversial because you've got multiple distractors, multitasking, cell phone overuse, social media interactions. Teachers often struggle to maintain engagement. So the importance, nuance, and aspect here is technology itself is not the enemy. The issue here is how it is used. For example, a cell phone can distract students. We have a law now in Chile that prevents students from using their cell phones in the class. But a cell phone can also become a learning tool through Kahoot, collaborative tasks, polls, vocabulary games. So the real issue is not technology, but pedagogy. The debate then should not be online versus face-to-face. The real debate is effective pedagogy versus ineffective pedagogy. Am I using technology to foster learning, language learning, for example? Well, a traditional classroom can be passive, boring, teacher-centered. An online class can be interactive, collaborative, communicative, or the other way around, okay, or the opposite. So it all depends on how we design learning. So the reflection for today's, for teachers today, if you're an EFL teacher and you want to know about the difference and how to integrate technology effectively in the classroom, the best teachers are not the ones who use the most technology. They are the ones who use it meaningfully, remember. Okay, so if you are to integrate technology in the classroom, make sure you integrate technology effectively in your classroom so you can foster learning. There is a pedagogical purpose behind, and that the tools will help you have everyone and get everyone involved in your class. So the ideal approach, in my opinion, may be hybrid. Remember the difference between hybrid and blended. When we talk about hybrid learning, we means the modality. Delivery formats. Some students learn online, while others attend physically, simultaneously. Okay, or blended. The methodology refers to pedagogical integration of technology into teaching and learning processes. Different methods, one learning goal. So the ideal approach may be hybrid, okay, having some people face-to-face and online, or the ideal approach should also be blended. Okay, so the traditional methods along with online methods can help you a lot because you can integrate. discussions, handwriting, classroom interaction, words that combine and combine along with digital resources, collaborative platforms, online interaction, and both aspects, both modalities can create richer learning experiences. So both can go hand in hand. Now, if you're a researcher, this is food for thoughts for researchers. These are some interesting questions that you might be exploring um, and that you may take into account while conducting research. So, question number one, does online learning reduce speaking anxiety? Secondly, which learners benefit most from virtual instruction? Another interesting question could be, can online interaction promote deeper participation? And the last but not the least, how does digital fatigue affect language acquisition? Okay, how does overusing technology affect the way we acquire languages? These are some interesting questions. And then also, what happens to attention spans, for example, in hybrid classroom, at the level of attention? Okay, so you have several questions that can help you address and probably develop a research line in this field. So maybe online teaching is not replacing face-to-face education. We are not denying the importance of face-to-face teaching. Maybe both modalities, blended approaches, could force us to rethink what effective teaching really means. Okay, so the point here is not the controversy between online teaching and face-to-face teaching. The controversy here is the practices, how you as a teacher or as a learner, you're using the resources, the digital resources, to have a better experience and to have more effective teaching. That is what really matters here. So in the next videos, okay, shortly, in the future videos, we'll be exploring the best apps for language learning, artificial intelligence in English teaching, and one controversial question. Could an EFL teacher eventually be replaced? We'll be discussing all these points in the upcoming videos. So if you've liked this video in which we've explored the difference between online teaching and face-to-face teaching, their pros and cons, and the importance of critical pedagogy and how to integrate pedagogy in the classroom regardless of the approach you're using, whether it's digital, face-to-face. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and shortly you'll be receiving some invitations to join the live sessions in which we'll be interacting with experts, other colleagues who are experienced in these topics, because your opinion matters. So let's learn, discuss, and grow together. So thank you for watching, everyone, and see you in the next video. Bye.